anybody? No.
And when I see him, Jesse Jackson, his mom and all them there, and his mama, she pulled me to the side. And that's when I knew it was bad, because she telling me to be strong and all that. So I go in the room with him, and he laid up. And I just get right on the side of his head and just start talking to him. When he played Hit 'Em Up the song, I didn't like the song.
Did you feel like it was
I didn't
too
like
much?
it.
Right.
I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like this. Like, it wasn't like to me. Like, it was you buying more problems, cuz. Gangsters is everywhere. And I think when he got with us, he got to the mind state that we the and ain't nobody like us. Always people like us everywhere. Because he didn't say nothing to me the whole ride. And that's a 5-hour flight on a private plane.
Yeah.
So I walk up to him like maybe 3 hours into the flight, sit next to him, I'm like, you going to Vegas, cuz? And he turned on me like this and started talking to somebody else. So I'm like, all right. So I go in the back, put the blanket on my head, knife in my hand, fork in my hand. I think we was playing a video game, and we kept getting a whole bunch of calls and pages. Somebody told us to turn on the news, and we turned the news on, and we seen the little. I drove down there to the hospital, because I wanted to see him and make sure he was straight. I'm thinking that he was gonna make it. We all chilling.
Right.
We on the West Coast. Tupac brought Biggie with him. We rocking. We let Cub get down with us. We go in the back, smoke, chill, hang out. It's beautiful.
When did it go sideways?
When he got felt like they did it, but...
And this was when he got to New York.
Yeah.
Before he got in Vegas.
There you go, right?
For years, the world believed Tupac Shakur's story ended that night in Las Vegas. But now, hidden evidence, confidential testimonies, and explosive insider confessions are rewriting history. From whispers of Diddy's involvement to shocking rumors surrounding Snoop Dogg, the truth behind Tupac's disappearance is finally surfacing, revealing the secrets the industry fought to keep buried.
And now,
So he felt like someone from the West Coast was involved.
No.
Or from the
like,
East Coast, rather, excuse me.
Yes. And later information came out that the people that he thought did it had nothing to do with it.
So by him accusing people
A few
of
weeks
it,
ago now, Ice-T did an investigative TV special
I seen that.
to find Biggie and Tupac's, and he spoke to Suge Knight, who alluded that Tupac may possibly be alive. What you think?
My homeboy is rest in peace. At the same time, I know people still want him to be here, and they love him so much to where his legacy, you know, it overwhelms everything. But at the same time, you got to know and understand when God takes you home, he takes you home, and that's where you are. You at home. I finally got a chance to meet Pac in 1993 at a rap party for Poetic Justice in L.A. And on that night, Pac passed me my first. Yeah, that's right. Tupac is the one that got Snoop Dogg smoking.
For years, rumors have swirled that Diddy played a part in Tupac's assassination, but now, the truth might finally be closing in. With Keef D locked up, the entire story is beginning to unravel, and new revelations are surfacing almost daily. The feds aren't just focused on Diddy anymore, their attention has reportedly shifted towards Snoop Dogg as well, and out on the streets, everyone's talking about what's coming next.
West Coast has had some tough losses. Is there anyone particularly that stands out to you as kind of the hardest one of those to swallow?
Nipsey and Nate Dogg. It just felt like they had so much to do. Same with Pac as well. I feel like he didn't even get a chance to finish. He 25. All of us that just flew back from New York. Suge, Pac, myself. They went to Vegas. I went to Warren G's because we had like a minor misunderstanding because that was at the time where I had spoke in New York about not having issues with Puffy and Biggie. That rubbed Pac the wrong way. The next day, we getting blown up on the pages, 919-1111, and it's Suge, and he telling us that him and Pac and get on out to Vegas. When I walked in, I could just feel like he wasn't even there. And I fainted. Then his mother got me up and walked me in the bathroom and had a conversation with me about being strong. So she gave us a moment for me to say some things to him as far as how much I love him, but I knew that was going to be my last time speaking with him.
For decades, Diddy's name has lingered in the shadows of Tupac's case. Fans and even some investigators have long suggested that his ties to several mysterious deaths in the industry were more than just coincidence. And now, the pieces are finally starting to connect in ways that can't be ignored. Keef D, the man arrested for Tupac's assassination, once claimed that Diddy was the one who ordered the hit. Yet for years, nothing happened. Diddy continued living lavishly untouched and unbothered, while many around him either fell off or vanished. When asked if Diddy owed him anything, Keefe said Diddy should have looked out for him, insisting he took the fall while Diddy rose to the top and left him behind. That one statement made a lot of people start looking at the story differently, but now things are shifting. Keefe D isn't the only one speaking anymore. Others close to the situation are beginning to come forward, and one of those voices, according to rumors, is Snoop Dogg. Word is, Snoop is finally breaking his silence about what really went down with Tupac, and much of what he's saying seems to lead right back to Diddy.
Did you see anybody? No.
And when I see him, Jesse Jackson, his mom and all them there, and his mama, she pulled me to the side. And that's when I knew it was bad, because she telling me to be strong. So I go in the room with him, and he laid up. And I just get right on the side of his head and just start talking to him in his ear. Just talking to him. I don't even know what to saying, but it was something to the effect of, like, I love you, and I hope I didn't make you mad from the shit. I just thought I was doing what was right. It was some other stuff. And as soon as I walked out of there, I went in the bathroom and I threw up. Just laid on the floor for like 30 minutes. His mama came in there and cleaned me up. His mama came in there and cleaned me up.
If you knew who Tupac, would you tell the police?
Absolutely not.
And it doesn't stop there. Reports say investigators have been revisiting old Snoop Dogg interviews and lyrics that hinted at hidden tension between him and Tupac. Some fans even claim there's footage of a real altercation between the two. Those clips, along with certain songs, have caught the attention of authorities, especially since some of the lyrics allegedly sound like confessions. Then came the biggest twist, leaked evidence suggesting Snoop may have been secretly recorded while making statements about Tupac's death statements he never intended to go public.
We all chilling.
Right.
We on the West Coast. Tupac brought Biggie with him. We rocking. We let Cub get down with us. We go in the back, smoke, chill, hang out. It's beautiful.
When did it go sideways?
Once Pac got, when he got, felt like they did it, but
And this was when he got in New York.
yeah.
Before he got in Vegas.
There you go, right there.
Yeah.
And now,
So he felt like someone from the West Coast was involved.
no.
Or
Felt
from the
like-
East Coast, rather.
yes.
Excuse me.
Yes. And later information came out that the people that he thought did it had nothing to do with it.
So by him accusing people of it, it kind of set things off.
And then by him being bailed out by Death Row Records, and Death Row Records adding more gasoline to the fire, and him being a part of the most gangsterous label in the world that his opposition didn't want no issues with,
Right.
it only egged it on as opposed to, let's find a resolution. No, let's keep making it more of a problem.
Now, reports claim that both Snoop and Diddy are officially under federal investigation in connection with Tupac's death. After nearly 30 years, the case that once seemed impossible to solve might finally be closing in on a real breakthrough. And if the rumors are true, some of the biggest names in hip-hop could be facing a downfall no one ever saw coming.
We was playing a video game, and we kept getting a whole bunch of calls and pages. Somebody told us to turn on the news, and we turned the news on, and we seen the little. I drove down there to the hospital because I wanted to see him. I'm saying, make sure he was straight. I'm thinking that he was gonna make it. I said a little prayer to him in his head and held his hand and whispered at him, said my piece with him. He didn't have no consciousness, but I felt like my spirit and his spirit connected, and I felt like he got it.
After more than 2 decades of dead ends, the Tupac case was suddenly declared closed, and fans around the world thought justice had finally arrived. Everyone believed they already knew who was behind it all. But when the official announcement dropped, the shock was real. Police had arrested Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a former gang member, for Tupac's murder. Now, don't get it twisted, no one's saying Keefe D was innocent, but most people don't believe he was the mastermind. He might have been involved, maybe even pulled the trigger, but the orders? Those likely came from someone higher up, and if you followed this story, you already know who everyone's pointing to Diddy. Diddy had the motive, the money, and the influence to make something like this happen, and it wasn't the first time his name surfaced in something dark. Even back in the 90 seconds when Keefe D was first questioned, he claimed Diddy called him after the shooting, asking if it was their doing. Keefe said he kept quiet, but that one conversation has haunted the case ever since.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
No, we coming up, what's the name? What's that, Flamingo? Yeah, I think that's Flamingo. We was coming up Flamingo and got to the light.
So out of curiosity, right? Let's say you was on the left side of the white Cadillac and you seen Tupac and Suge Knight. What would have been your response?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't know. But I would have had to take over.
For years, fans online have said that Keefe D might stretch the truth, but when it comes to Diddy, many believe he's telling it straight. One fan put it perfectly: every time something goes down around Puff, he walks away clean while everyone else takes the fall. But here's the real question: why would Keefe D keep talking if he knew it could land him behind bars? According to insiders, it all came down to ego. He wanted to be remembered as a street legend, to take credit for being part of one of hip-hop's biggest mysteries. That's why he started doing interviews, writing a book, and showing up on every podcast that would have him. What Keefe didn't realize, though, was that the feds were 10 steps ahead. They let him talk again and again until he eventually repeated his confession without the legal protection he once had. It was a setup, decades in the making, a 27-year trap that he walked right into.
How do you feel about people that say and believe that you was actually the person that was the trigger man, you know, in the white Cadillac that Tupac and Suge Knight?
I'm glad they ain't the police. That's all I can say. I'm glad they ain't the police.
He also grew jealous after learning that FBI agent Greg Kading was writing his own book and developing a movie about the case. Keefe felt like others were stealing his story, so he decided to tell it himself, releasing his own version packed with what he called testimonies. From that point on, investigators didn't have to lift a finger. They simply sat back and let him talk. Every interview, every podcast, from Vlad TV to The Art of Dialogue, became more evidence against him. But that wasn't all. Suge Knight was reportedly moving pieces behind the scenes too. Sources claim Suge paid Orlando Anderson $60,000 to testify that he wasn't attacking Suge at the MGM casino that night. He was helping him. The move was designed to protect Suge from a probation violation. No matter where you look in this case, it's a web of money, manipulation, and betrayal. And somehow, Diddy's name always ends up tangled right in the middle of it.
What was your first interaction with Suge Knight?
Studio, walked in. He didn't know who I was. I didn't know who he was. I said some gang affiliate. He said some gang affiliate. And somebody made it known that we was together. And
I saw him like when you would go on the PJ with them, you'd like grab a blanket and like put like a knife, sleep like this.
that was after we was in New York. We had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So
like you can come with us, but you can't bring security?
it's just when they said it and the way it was delivered, I'm like, maybe this may be the day that they try me. Because I felt like there was a fine line between being mad and being like, I know about the stories of how they done certain people and this and that, but never me.
Yeah, what was it like just being around that energy during that time?
Fun.
Really?
Yeah, we lived dangerous. We didn't care. 21 was a dream.
Suge Knight eventually landed behind bars, and truth be told, that one was on him. Even though tensions seemed to cool once rumors spread that the $60,000 payout had settled things, Suge's legal troubles never really went away. One by one, everyone connected to the case either vanished or was taken out of the picture. Before long, Keefe D was the last man standing. When Diddy's close associate Zip passed away, the rest of the circle started moving differently, writing books, doing interviews, and rewriting their own versions of what really happened. To the public, it looked like they'd all moved on, but behind the scenes, the feds never stopped watching. They were just biding their time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. That's exactly why the case has resurfaced after all these years, because if it were truly over, there wouldn't be a new indictment for Keefe D and the others still tied to Tupac's murder.
Nobody never did ever nobody. They don't have no evidence against me. Came and put me in Las Vegas. Proved that I orchestrated this.
You said the came from the back. Tupac.
To keep it for the code of the streets. It just came from the backseat, bro. Shouldn't have said nothing. And I'm innocent, man.
What happened was, Nas ain't got a lot of people with him, but he got a lot of people with him, if you know what I mean. And I'm seeing him and I'm knowing, because I'm a gangbang. I'm seeing with their hands on their... I step away from him and Nas right here, boom. Nas like, what's up, Pop? When I love your music, I'm a fan. That's what Pac say. If you a fan, I dissed you, Jay-Z, Biggie. He named off a gang of them. I dissed all you on the song. And if you a fan and you ain't got no beef, don't say nothing. And Nas said, I love you. I never diss you. And he shook his hand and he hugged him. And then when he walked off, Pac said, yeah, I punked that. In my mind, I was like, nah, he let us slide.
Now, investigators are reportedly zeroing in on Diddy and Snoop Dogg and even trying to bring Mike Tyson in to testify. And that's no coincidence. Tyson had his own run-ins with Keith D back in the day. At one point, Keith even warned Tyson that he wouldn't last 5 seconds against him, a threat that showed just how deep and dangerous this web really was. Things are getting more tangled than ever. The investigation has reportedly shifted to New York, where federal agents are digging into Diddy's entire circle close friends, alleged middlemen, and even Aaliyah's former manager. There are claims that the $1 million bounty on Tupac's head was funneled through a fake record label to cover the money trail. They didn't just plan the hit, they allegedly worked to erase every trace of it. According to reports, the car used that night was a rental that was repainted white immediately after the shooting to destroy evidence. And through it all, Keith D just couldn't stay silent. He kept doing interviews, writing books, and boasting about his street legacy, not realizing every word he said was helping investigators tighten the case around him. At one point, Keith even claimed that Diddy paid him around $1 million to have Tupac killed, though he later admitted he never actually saw the money. He said Diddy sent it through a middleman who used it to open a nightclub instead, leaving Keith unpaid. It was all on record, yet for years, authorities didn't go after Diddy directly. That raised one big question: why was one of the most powerful men in music untouched when so much evidence seemed to point his way? Officials insisted they didn't have enough proof that Keith's word alone wasn't enough. But now, rumor has it, they finally do, and it's coming from one of rap's biggest names, Snoop Dogg.
Finally got a chance to meet Pac in 1993 at a rap party for Poetic Justice in LA. And on that night, Pac passed me my first. Yeah, that's right. Tupac is the one that got Snoop Dogg smoking.
Rumor has it that Snoop Dogg may hold the missing piece in the Tupac case. Sources claim he possesses crucial details about Diddy's alleged involvement and even spoke with Keffy D before the arrest, meaning he knows exactly what happened that night. Snoop isn't new to high-profile situations. He understands how investigations work and what counts as real evidence. According to insiders, he's finally ready to cooperate and reveal everything he knows. This time, though, the spotlight isn't on Keffy D, it's on Diddy, the man who somehow always walks away unscathed whenever chaos surrounds him. Reports suggest that Snoop has already made a statement alleging Diddy paid Keffy to target Tupac. And here's the kicker: the authorities are reportedly taking him seriously because he supposedly has solid proof evidence that directly links Diddy to the crime, but it's not without risk. Some parts of Snoop's testimony could potentially implicate him, putting him at the scene or revealing knowledge he previously kept hidden. Even so, insiders say he's willing to take that risk if it finally means justice for Tupac's family and the fans who have never stopped seeking answers.
A few weeks ago now, Ice-T did an investigative TV special.
I seen that.
To find Biggie and Tupac's. And he spoke to Suge Knight, who alluded that Tupac may possibly be alive. What you think?
My homeboy is rest in peace. At the same time, I know people still want him to be here, and they love him so much to where his legacy, you know, it overwhelms everything. But at the same time, you got to know and understand when God takes you home, he takes you home, and that's where you are. You at home.
When news of Keffy's arrest broke, Snoop reportedly couldn't stay silent any longer. He didn't want another fall guy taking the heat while the real puppet master slipped away. But there's a catch. His years of silence could now come back to haunt him. Investigators might view it as aiding and abetting, which means Snoop could face legal consequences himself. It's a tough pill to swallow, but one thing's clear. Fans agree it's long overdue for Diddy to face real accountability. The walls are closing in, and this time, no one is walking away clean.
When he played Hit 'Em Up the song, I didn't like the song.
Did you feel like it was
I didn't
too
like
much?
it.
Right.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Like, it wasn't like to me. Like, it was buying more problems, cuz. Gangsters is everywhere. And I think when he got with us, he got to the mind state that we the and ain't nobody like us. Always people like us everywhere. Because my didn't say nothing to me the whole ride. And that's a 5-hour flight on a private plane.
Yeah.
So I walk up to him like maybe 3 hours into the flight, sit next to him, I'm like, you going to Vegas, cuz? And he turned on me like this and started talking to somebody else. So I'm like, all right. So I go in the back, put the blanket on my head, knife in my hand, fork in my hand.
And it gets darker. Whispers suggest Diddy wasn't just a flashy music mogul. He may have been the mastermind behind one of hip-hop's darkest nights, the Las Vegas tragedy that ended Tupac Shakur's reign. Prosecutors are reportedly building a massive case tying him to racketeering, exploitation rings, and even secret tapes that could keep him behind bars for life. His name appears nearly 50 times in sealed police transcripts linked to the ambush. While Diddy maintains his innocence in a New York courtroom, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The people who once shielded him are finally starting to speak.
His image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had. Which, all right, some dudes would do that. You would never catch me wearing something else, something that somebody...
An insider recently claimed that the truth behind the Tupac case is being buried not by accident, but to protect powerful names. They said some of the people who attended Diddy's secret sessions would go to any lengths to keep their identities hidden, fearing that exposure could destroy everything they've built. That's where Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, comes in. Unlike others, Gene wasn't speculating he was there. He rode in Diddy's armored SUVs, guarded the penthouses, and witnessed things most can't imagine. Now, he's dropping revelations that make Diddy's current charges seem like just the tip of the iceberg. According to Gene, Tupac wasn't reckless, he was strategic. He anticipated a setup and planned his own escape. His Machiavelli era wasn't just artistic expression, it was a coded survival plan. The theory: Tupac faked his death, fled the US, and built a new life overseas. The wildest part, Diddy supposedly never knew. Gene says Diddy believed he'd eliminated his biggest rival, celebrating what he thought was victory, while Tupac may have been alive the whole time. If true, Diddy wasn't the mastermind. He was the one who got played.
He's obsessed with who?
So you believe Diddy, he only got with Sarah Chapman because Pac, he had her at one point.
And it was a bet in the office. Sarah was messing with an NBA basketball player. Puff bet all of them believe that he could get it within 2 weeks. $100. So she actually was a $100 bet that he got.
Picture this: Diddy celebrating in private, convinced he'd finally claimed the throne, with no one left to challenge him, only to later face the possibility that his rival might still be alive. It's straight out of a movie, almost Shakespearean, a plot twist no one saw coming. For years, the East Coast-West Coast feud was seen as a tale of loss and tragedy. But viewed from this angle, it starts to feel less like a rivalry and more like one long, meticulously orchestrated con. The very idea shakes the foundation of hip-hop history. Even Gene Deal admitted it when recalling the old days. Tupac and Biggie had their issues, yes, but it was never as deep as the media made it seem. The real story, he said, was always unfolding behind the scenes, far from the eyes of fans, in places nobody ever got to see.
The other one as well. Where do you stand with what happened with Tupac? Do you think Biggie was a part of it? You think Puff was a part of it?
I never heard Puff say anything about doing anything to Big, Tupac or Suge.
Right.
I've heard people around Puff say things about that, but I never. Came back downstairs, he was heated. He said, yo, Gene, I got 126 employees, and these people depend on me for their livelihoods. If these white folks thought or they would think that I had anything to do with any kind of, they wouldn't me, and they not gonna me. He said, I'm a businessman. I'm about making money, but something gotta change. I don't give a if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail. Something's gotta change. And he took upstairs, he turned around and walked back upstairs. And it didn't dawn on me what he said. And then my man looked at me and Bun was like, yo, that Big.
Got to see.
The clues were always there, hiding in plain sight. Fans have obsessed over Tupac's Machiavelli album for years, from its eerie subtitle, The 7-Day Theory, to the line, Exit Tupac, Enter Machiavelli. Some even noticed that rearranging Machiavelli spells out Am Alive. For years, people dismissed it as coincidence. But what if it wasn't? What if it was a coded message from someone who had mastered deception and survival? If Gene Deal's story is true, that album wasn't a farewell, it was a plan. Then came the strange inconsistencies. The coroner listed Tupac at 6 feet and 215 pounds, but everyone knew he was smaller. Autopsy photos looked off. The cremator who handled the body retired and vanished soon after. Some say he was paid off. Others suspect the body wasn't even Tupac. Then there's Michael Nee, a former security officer who claimed he helped smuggle Tupac out after a hit was ordered. According to Nie, Fidel Castro approved a body swap while Tupac was flown out with Black Panthers by his side. Nie even swore Tupac co-piloted the plane before disappearing for good. But before he could prove it, Nie was found lifeless. Coincidence or another cover-up? Sightings never stopped. In Havana, locals whisper about a man in a bandana and shades beard thicker, build heavier, but those eyes, the same piercing eyes that cut right through you, remain unchanged. Someone once hinted at the truth. No one's been arrested because Tupac ain't gone. He's somewhere, smoking a Cuban cigar. Even Tupac's mother hinted at it herself, saying he chose to leave quietly. Poetry, or a quiet admission that he walked away? His posthumous albums don't sound like old tracks, they sound alive, as if his voice never really disappeared. It all ties back to Gene Deal's shocking claim. Tupac saw the setup coming. He knew the cost of staying independent in a world controlled by powerful moguls. So he flipped the script, turning Machiavelli into his escape plan. Gene believes Tupac didn't die in Vegas. He vanished, quietly rebuilding his life, waiting for the perfect moment to expose those who betrayed him. So, what do you think? Was Tupac truly assassinated in Vegas, or did he outsmart everyone and disappear for good? One thing is clear, this case is far from over, and the truth keeps getting louder. If you love deep dives like this, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for more untold hip-hop stories. The next chapter could change everything you thought you knew.